you guys will be happy to hear. We had 97 players yesterday. I had at least 3 of them stop me and say how much they enjoyed the podcast. So
Yeah.
I had that happen
Yes.
yesterday.
Yes.
I had that happen 2 days ago. I was like, I don't know. I've been up like, the beginning of the Matrix, whenever Neo was like conked out in front of his computer and he's got all the text.
Yeah.
That's been me for the last month. I mean, except I'm not conked out. I go downstairs, but I've been like just text scrolling, doing all sorts of servers and shit. And like, I was like, all right, I gotta go to bed, man. It's 2 a.m. I gotta go to bed. So I'll play one last game. Let's decompress a little bit. So I get on Carabast and I played a game and it was super fun, man. It was one of those back and forth and like, ha. And then my opponent goes, ha. And then like back and forth. And then I was like, all right. And then he ended up winning. And I guess at the end I was like, all right, man, good game. That was a lot of fun. Have a good one. And he was like, oh, that was a great lot of fun. I love the podcast. And I was like, oh, really? People listen to us and we still don't get like previews and shit. So
All right, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gamers of all ages. It's episode 33. 33. I'll get him turned around in a minute. 33 of the On the Button podcast. My name is Wes. You too. Yeah, buddy.
You too.
Yeah, let's go.
We're flashing threes at each other if you're just listening to audio. Our cameras, he's like, it's kind of half. Wes is kind of a half middle finger, and like the other 2 fingers next to it are like the British, the double finger. Like,
yeah, the double.
He's trying to do all that at once. So I'm taking it. Taking it amiss and doing it back to him.
I got back from Dallas like an hour ago. I'm probably still a little loopy, so I don't know what to tell you, man. But my name's Wes. I'm here with my buddies Ian and Trey. We're here to talk some Star Wars Unlimited like we do every few weeks. We're a few days late on this episode. I apologize for that. Real life intervened. We were going to try and record last week, and then Trey ditched us, and we had to move. So, life happens. It's cool. It's no big deal.
Cool. I did have to ditch you.
You did. Now,
I told you could go ahead without me, but you were like, you're the lifeblood of the podcast.
So
no,
in fairness, that's 100% not at all what Ian said. I guarantee it. In fact, Ian's exact words were, "You mean I could record an episode without Trey so I can dunk on him for a change? That would be sweet." That were his. And I said, "Hey, man, if you want to do that, I'm game. It's up to you. You decide." And you know what Ian said, Trey? Ian said, "No, I value Trey's opinion so much. I don't want to leave him out. So we're going to record on Sunday." So there you go.
Have you heard my opinions? They're gems. Every one of them.
Clearly we've been listening to different podcasts somewhere along the way. Yeah, that's the thing. Okay. All right. Well, Trey, I'm going to ask you a question, right? Because you did have a whole bunch of family drama a couple weekends ago, right? You were so excited. You love limited SWU. We had a limited PQ here in Houston. What happened? You had to cancel and miss the event. What happened?
All right, so I think we've got a confluence of 2 stories that are going on.
One, then bring it. Let's hear it.
All right, so the easy one to explain is it's not that exciting. It's that weekend. I love that weekend. That's what I live for, the limited tournament. Yeah. But we have some friends that we've been friends with for a very long time that we haven't spent a lot of time with in the last, I don't know, a few years. And their daughter graduated from high school, and they had a big party down in Galveston, and they invited us. And it was more of a, you got to invest some time in the relationships every now and then. So that's the easy one. I mean, my here, do your little fingers. My heart bleeds for you, violin, which you can't see on my thing because I'm zoomed in. Because I instead of playing in this tournament, I had to drive to Galveston to my friend's really nice house right on the water and go to a crawfish boil. Yeah, it was terrible. I really would have liked to play because I don't go to too many of these tournaments, and I was really looking forward to that one.
Okay,
but the one that was the drama. The one that was the drama. All right, so we've covered many times. I have 2 daughters. They're both off in college. This is the first year. My youngest is do everything all the time. And so at the moment, she's in France on a study abroad because she decided she wanted to do a study abroad. So she's spending 2.5 weeks in France. And we raised our daughters to be extremely self-reliant, and they do everything themselves. So like before I do anything to help her out or to fix something in her condo or help her out with money or to ask her, talk to her about it, like I'm always like, do you want my help or do you want to do this on your own? And usually she's like, no, I got this. And then now it's to the point where I learn about things after the fact. And so she did all the planning for this was done all on her own, and she handled it. Well, she's in school in Nacogdoches, which if you're not familiar with geography, I will turn this into geography today, it's closer to Dallas than Houston, which is where we live. And but it's not a lot closer to either one. It's about 2 hours from us, and it's about probably an hour and a half from Dallas. Oh no, I've never made that drive from Nacogdoches to Dallas. I just know when I look on a map, they're about the same. So her flight to France was trying to get her information so I could follow her flights and just kind of check up on her a little bit because she is my daughter. And I was like, so where's your flight? Her flight leaves out of DFW in Dallas. I'm like, oh, okay. And then she was leaving on Tuesday morning. And then like the Thursday before, I was like, how are you getting to DFW? And she was like, oh, I was just going to take an Uber from Nacogdoches. I was like, how much do you think that is? And she went and looked it up, and she goes, hey, that's a $400 Uber one way.
Yeah.
I was like, all right.
That's insane.
Here, would you like me to help you with this? And she said, yes, please help me with this. So her mother and I talked, and we decided that she was already coming home for that weekend to Houston, and we live 15 minutes from Intercontinental, from like one of the biggest airports in the world. And so she was coming home. I was like, look, here, I will get you a ticket to go from Houston to Dallas, and then you can meet all your people in Dallas and get on the plane. It's just a connecting flight. And so I talked to her back and forth about it. I communicated with the people coordinating the trip. Everything was squared away. We bought the ticket. And we covered in the podcast again before that I am not a morning person at all.
Oh yeah.
Like I like to stay up till about 2, and then I like to sleep till like 10 and then get up. That's kind of my jam. I get all of my hours of sleep in. I get all of my productivity hours in. My clock is just off from most people's. And so because I'm a dad and I'm a rock star dad, I'm like, look, I will take you to the airport. So I got up at 6 a.m. to take this girl to the airport for her. Actually, no, I got up at 5:45 so we could walk out the door at 6 a.m. to get her to her flight. Yeah. That was taking off at like 8:30. So I drive to the airport. I drop her off. Goodbye. I get to give her a hug. I get to dunk on her mom a little bit because I got to see her last before she goes over because her mom was already off at work. And so her mom is also my wife. It's not like that. Anyway. So I leave and I
love how you tell stories, Trey. I'm so sorry. I love how you just interject these random things. I'm actually still married to her mom, just in case you were wondering. Yeah. Like I didn't.
Yeah, my baby mama also I got to dunk on. No, that's who is also my wife. So I leave and then I'm like, I don't ever eat breakfast this early. I like McDonald's. So I went to McDonald's and got a breakfast because I love McDonald's breakfast and I eat it like once a year. So we get back to the house and my daughter texted me and she's like, hey, my flight is canceled.
I remember this. This part I remember.
Oh, no.
Okay, I remember you telling me this story.
All right. So I was like, I got on the phone with her. I was like, look, you're on American Airlines. There are American Airlines people there. Go talk to them and see what they can do. And so this is part of me empowering her to make decisions like this on her own. And she handled it beautifully. Like we've been giving her agency and all of this stuff her entire life. And so I gave her instructions on how to handle it herself. She handled it beautifully. She found somebody from American Airlines at one of the other terminals. She talked to him. She worked it up and they got her booked on the 10:30 in the morning flight to go to Dallas. Perfect. It worked out great. 30 minutes later, I got another call. Hey, that flight's been canceled. They have another flight at 12:30, but I'm supposed to be in Dallas by 1:30. Okay, well, I guess I'm not working today. So I went to Intercontinental and picked my daughter up and made sure. And on my way to pick her up, I got on the phone with the American Airlines people because I'm like, okay, I'm handling this. I'm getting my money back on this ticket. Yeah. So we got on the phone and we waited for a while. Like I have my daughter on three-way and I threw calling with the American Airlines and they were like, oh, yes, we'd love to. I mean, we sat on hold longer than we should have. And then actually was like, oh, we'd love to help you. Yes, this is definitely refundable. If you'll just go on the website. I'm like, no, that's what this call is for. You're going to I'm usually super polite, but I'm like, no. I'm not getting on any website to do anything. I'm going to sit on this phone with you until my money is back on my credit card. And she was like, oh, okay, we can handle that. So then I picked up my daughter. So my day that Tuesday, I guess it was last Tuesday. No, Tuesday before last.
Yeah, Tuesday.
It became just my day is going to drive that started at 5:45 in the morning for my likes to sleep till 10 ass.
4 hours up,
4 hours to
back.
Dallas.
4 hours back.
And then the GPS didn't, like, if you've ever been to DFW Airport, there's like one main road to get in, and it is all the tolls all the time. And my GPS decided it was going to try and skirt me around the tolls, and it tried to get me to go on an entrance ramp that was locked down. So I had to like circle the airport a few times.
Oh my God, what a mess.
But we got it done. We got fortunately, there's an extra Buc-ee's from when I used to drive to Dallas. So there's one a third of the way and another one 2/3 of the way. Correct. So I got to stop at Buc-ee's 4 times all the way, because you always stop at Buc-ee's.
There's one in Madisonville and another one in Ennis. So nicely done.
Yep.
Is that because your truck needs to fill up that often?
No. I took my wife's car. My wife has an SUV that I take. I have to take a bunch of furniture up to my daughter in Nacogdoches when she gets back. I'm not looking forward to that. Anyway, so fast forward, like that was my whole day, was just, you're now spending your entire day in the car. So I missed going to play cards with you guys on that Tuesday, because I was like, I got home, I'm like, I'm not driving across town again. Yeah. So then I was like, now I've got to get her home. So I talked to her about it, and now I'm driving back to Dallas this Thursday to pick her up and bring her back home. So
I would have bought the plane ticket for that. I'd have been like, "No, I'm gonna buy you a plane ticket and fly you back, sweetheart."
Yeah, I tried to, but it was super expensive, and I'm like, it was not that hard to convince me to do it. So
okay, all right.
Anyway, that's my long. So how long are we into the recording now?
I don't know.
The saga. Trey's daughter.
We'll move on to Ian. Ian, hopefully you haven't had any exciting drama nearly as bad.
No, I've had like the greatest 2 weekends ever.
Dude, you have no in betweens.
Yeah, like
I know.
Is either crushing you or it is tip top.
Or I'm on Peak Mountain. I went to see Mando and Grogu.
Okay.
This is everything I've done. This is everything I've done in between the last time we did the podcast. I saw Mando and Grogu.
Yeah.
Played at a limited PQ. Got my butt kicked, but had a great time. Got to and for the record, played against my own friends all day.
I mean,
I only played people I knew all day.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. Went to Comic Palooza.
Okay. You did go down there.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Saw Alanis Morissette in a 1,000-person venue, which I was like no more than 20 feet from her during the concert. It was really great.
That's awesome.
Great.
That's fantastic.
And for 2 short people, because we're pretty short,
we
found like the sea of other short people that had congregated together so that we could all see the stage. It was awesome. There's this one really tall guy who got a little bit in the way occasionally, but it was great. It was really great.
Just slap him down. It's fine.
Yeah, and then on Saturday, I got a pedicure with my wife. I tried to watch some of the PQ you were streaming, and my wife's like, "What are you doing?" We said no cards, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Wow. Wow. Laying down the law in the Edelman household. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
She's like, you got to pay attention. You don't pay attention when you watch Wes's card show. It's Wes's card show now, by the way. Wes's card show.
I'm totally going to give her crap about that next time I see her. I'm totally giving her crap about that and be like, I'm going to give her a little business card that says Wes's card show just for her. Like, I made this just for you. You're in
now I'm picturing Wes having commercials where he's Mattress Mac and he jumps up and snatches the money from off camera on top. Wes's card show's here to save you money.
Exactly. And what I'm thinking, the picture I have in my head is from Madagascar, one of the Madagascar, with these da 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 circus, Afro circus, like that's what I've got in my head right now. I'm just a dancing monkey on TV for people, right? No, it's been pretty calm around here for me. It's just been finishing up PQ season. Of course, we did the limited PQ here, and we were in Carrollton yesterday, and just got back this afternoon, and. PQ season's now over. I'm done. This was easily the busiest PQ season I've had, which has been great, and it's been good in a lot of ways. And there's definitely been some drawbacks. I was talking to Heather last night after we got done, and I was like, the previous 2 seasons, we had a big deal last year, right? I did some PQs in Twilight. I did Mobile and Austin, and then I went and did you and I did the sector in Denver, and then I went and did the regional in Minneapolis, and it was like we had all these wind in our sails. And then when they put the schedule out for set 5, there really wasn't much there. So I did 2 more events between Minneapolis. The entire back half of last year, I only did 2 events. And then we kicked off again in this year, and we were supposed to have 3 over in set 6, and we lost 1 to weather. So I only had 2 there. So doing 5 PQs in a 2-month stretch for me was a first. Like I've never attempted to do I've never been able to schedule this many in a single set, and they were all in the same 8-week box, right? 5 of the last 8 weekends I've had a PQ. And I told her, I said, if I had to do it over again, I'd probably limit myself to maybe 4 in this kind of time frame. Like it feels a little harried. And definitely only having one of those be a long trip, right? Like Biloxi was my long trip this time. Everything else was within a few hours. Like Dallas is no big deal. Austin is easy. Houston, like 20 minutes away from the house. Like those kinds of events are not that challenging. So I don't know. It's been a great season. I'm glad it's over. It's going to give me a chance to continue working on a lot of the ideas that I've got for improving the viewer experience and all that kind of thing. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good summer. I've got plenty to keep me busy in the dead time. So speaking of Carrollton, guys, I have to talk about this PQ we played yesterday. Ian, you said you haven't seen anything.
Nothing,
it was
bro.
amazing.
Nothing.
I don't watch Wes's card show. Go ahead.
I pulled up 10 minutes of it, and it was no. You need to pay more attention to me. It is her birthday weekend,
that's
so
fair.
I did promise I would give her all my attention, and I do when I watch, especially like if I'm out in public and I'm not paying attention. I'm like totally into it, and I'm like, oh, why'd you play that? That was a terrible play. Like I'm yelling at the screen, like it's
like a sporting event.
It's any other sports broadcast that I love watching. So I do get a little too into it, so I'm sure she was like, she just didn't want me to like scream at the phone.
I don't usually watch Wes's card show all that much when he does it, because especially when it's constructed, because it gets boring to me because I watch the same decks over and over. So this is, as I explained to the guys, I think it was before this started, where like for the last month I've just like, if you remember Neo from the very beginning of the Matrix when he's got the pages of computer text scrolling, that's been me for the last month. And so I was doing that Saturday, and I had it on just in the background. Boy, did I pick the right one to tune into.
We had 97 players in Carrollton yesterday, which was a fabulous turnout.
Nice. That's a good PQ.
Great turnout, and the deck variety was really there. It was amazing.
Nice.
And with the judges, in order to keep the first few rounds moving, what the judges did something I've never done before. They basically said, look through the deck lists and give us 4 or 5 players that have stuff that you want to see. And we'll just, as the pairings are done in the first few rounds, we'll just grab them and move them to the table and tell you what table you're getting. I was like, great, that works. So my co-caster and I was was Logan Palmer, Copycat 99 over on YouTube. He and I looked at the list, and we picked out about 4 or 5 decks, and said this is what we want to see. And so early on, we saw Callus Data Vault in the first round, which was a really interesting matchup.
That was fun. I played that on Carabast, and it's a really fun deck to play. It's wild. Off the wall.
And then our second round match was 2 decks that we had picked that got paired into each other. Krennic Yellow and Slymore Data Vault got paired into each other, and that was a fascinating match to watch. So
exciting. That Krennic list, there is a Krennic Yellow list on SWODB, like one of the hot decks that you can play. The list that got played on Saturday, nothing at all like that. So I really want to get that. I want to get that list and play it, because it looked. He kept playing cards, and I was like, why is this not in the other list? This is so much better. I want to see this. So it was fun. That was a fun match to watch. And
then my personal favorite, my hero deck of the whole event, the guy played only finished 4-3, and I don't care. I'm building this because, and this is for later in the podcast, but it's Dedra Yellow. Like, I can't wait to build that one. Really, really awesome variety. Just really, really cool to see. Now, the whole thing was taken down by Maul Blue Force. He beat out a Boba Lake Country in the final, a really, really good contested final match. The only repeat leader we had in the top 8 was Dedra Colossus. We had 2 hard control Dedra Miro decks make the top 8, and that Boba Lake Country player, he ran both of them over. Now, one of them was a local player, Andrew Rubio. I don't know if you guys remember Andrew. The Boba player beat him in the quarterfinal round. We didn't cover that one. But he did play the other Dedra Miro in the semifinal round. We did cover that match. And he ruined poor Hunter. I felt bad for Hunter because and Hunter told me after the match, he goes, and that was a rematch. Those guys had played in round 2 of Swiss, and it was the exact same result. And Hunter came up to after the match was over to thank me and give me a fist bump and say, thanks for being here to cover the event. And I said, man, I'm so sorry that could not have been fun. He said, no, it wasn't. He said, but it already happened to me in Swiss, and so I kind of knew it was going to happen going in. He goes, so I just, I sat through it and did what I could. I was
What
like,
was
what else
Hunter
can you
on?
do? He was playing the Dedra Miro
Oh,
Colossus.
okay.
I thought he was playing the Sly.
No,
Sly Moore.
no. You're talking about Hunter. You're thinking of Hunter Shelburne. I'm talking about Hunter.
Oh,
Hill.
different Hunter.
Different Hunter from Austin, but both from Austin.
Okay.
So anyways, just a really great event, a fabulous venue. If you guys get the chance to go up there, that's a great venue. The owner took great care of me. Both Dallas stores that I've worked in have just taken fabulous care of me. They both have gigabit fiber that I can just tap into, which for my thing is amazing. Like it was, it was real easy. The setup was pretty easy. They were super helpful. I'd go back there in a heartbeat. So I hope they get another event at some point.
So one of the things that I noticed in watching this with all this diverse decks, if you go to like YouTube and you watch, there are all these random creators that will go through at the beginning of a season, and they'll make all of these interesting decks that end up not being good enough. And so you'll see like this wave of decks come out and get played kind of in the first events, and then they get beat down, and then your Lando Lake countries come to the top, and then they rise to the top, and then that ends up being all you'll see. One of the things that I noticed in this event, it was like a ton of those early decks resurfaced, but with different card choices. And then every time they would play something that was like even the Maul deck had a couple of card choices that I've never seen in them. I don't remember what they were off the top of my head, but I just remember them playing something. I remember them playing cards and me being like, oh my goodness, that fits perfectly in what Maul, like it's a oh my god, head smacking. Like, why did Maul not always play this? But it wasn't just Maul. It was Maul. It was that Krennic deck. It was like over and over. It was like people who have been secretly brewing in the background and trying to squeeze every bit of utility out of every 2-drop and every 4-drop and every single little, like, oh, why are we changing, it's just for all of these decks that have previously been not quite good enough to make it really on the tournament scene, and then they all showed up and they all had these great card choices that are unusual in them. So it was a ton of fun to watch when when Krennic flipped over Deceptive Shade. Oh my goodness, that was like holy cow! And then he flips over Kajimi Patrollers, and I'm like, which is a dude in space that makes another dude in space, and you just eat him with Krennic, and it's just free resources. And I'm like, oh my god, this is genius.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great way it's one of the best openings Krennic has, that Kajimi Patrollers. It was a really, really great event. I had a blast. That Maul deck that won, Sam's Maul deck, very obviously tuned into some of these pilot leaders. He had 4 or 5 Space Sentinel units in his main deck. He had 3 of the little cheap 3/3 TIE Sentinel thing out of Legends, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
And then he had 2
TIE Supremacy or whatever.
Yeah, and he had 2 Purgles. The graceful Purgle.
Oh, the 2/7.
The 2/7s, yeah.
Yes, it's
Purgle.
such a big butt.
Yeah, yes.
So those were main deck?
Those were main deck cards for him.
Okay,
Did he
cool.
Was he playing lightsabers? Did he get a lightsaber on a Purgle?
He had no lightsabers at all in that deck. None.
Damn.
Which is
You're
sad.
You're asking for so much, Ian. This guy just won PQ with Maul, and you're like, did he do it with the right flavor and style?
Did he do it with
putting a?
No, I was just wondering. Like, that's something I've always wanted to try, is to get a lightsaber on a Purgle. It's legal,
like,
man. I just wanted to try it. I was like, what crazy wacky shenanigans?
Sam Allen, you just
won a
PQ.
Purgles, man. Go for it.
Sam Allen, you just won a PQ, but did you do it with a laser sword on a space whale? No, you're worthless. You're dead.
Doesn't
count.
count.
To me.
You're dead to me, Sam.
That's awesome. That's a cool deck to win.
The Houston PQ was also a lot of fun. I love covering limited, right? As much as Trey loves playing limited and I love it, I love covering limited because I think it really showcases how good that format is in unlimited. I talk to people all the time who are like, oh, I don't really enjoy unlimited. I'm like, okay, that's fine. You're allowed to not enjoy the format, but what I always will say and what I implore people to realize is that becoming better, good, whatever, above average, better at sealed and draft play is a skill, just like being good at Premier. And if you don't invest time in it, it's not going to happen. Now, the time is maybe a little different, right? Maybe it's just studying the card lists. Maybe it's actually doing drafts or buying 6 packs and seeing what you can knock together. It's like anything else. But if you don't put time in it, you're not going to be good at it. And it's not just, oh, it always sucks because I always pull crap cards. That can't be the case because there are way too many players out there that are good at this game that are also good at limited. So there's obviously some skill into picking up a pool of cards, realizing what it can do, what it can't do, and gelling together a deck out of it. Now, what the takeaway that I took from that stream, not everybody enjoys watching Limited because our viewer numbers were definitely lower than I would get for a constructed PQ.
Bummer.
And so on. Whatever. I don't do it for the viewers, but you can't help but notice these things, right? Like, you look at the numbers and you're like, oh yeah, nope, there they are. Like it's just not as interesting. There's not as many people that want to watch it. I love covering draft. To me, one of the best things I get to do as a caster is cover a live draft.
Yeah,
I love drafting. I love watching that live.
Watching your coverage of I watched Bobby draft.
Yeah.
I will draft completely different in the future. Completely different. He made a lot of choices that like boggled me at first, but then when I watched him play those cards, I was like,
sir.
Dude, I suck at this, man.
Like
I'm so bad.
I'll be honest.
I didn't realize how bad I was at drafting.
Watching him
I'm
draft,
real bad.
pack one, pick one. He opens a Liberty, and which everybody knows is essentially one of the strongest cards they've printed to date. And what does he do in draft? He passes on it to draft Finn. And why? Look at the value he got out of that Finn over the course of the matches, the two matches that we saw. Absolutely ridiculous how much value he got out of that card. That tells you right there, pack one, pick one. You don't even have to watch the rest of the draft. And you can tell right there is a different skill set in drafting and learning how to draft this.
I couldn't do that. That's a $50 card, bro. I can't do that.
Like,
I physically can't. Like I couldn't pass that card.
But that's not why he was there that day. He was there for the points, which he got him. So good for him. Congrats. Like I had a lot of fun doing that event. I did not have the Sebulba mirror match being the opening match on my bingo card. Like that was bizarre to me that there were not only 2 Sebulbas in the room, only 2 out of 57.
Was this in the finals? Oh, so this is in Swiss.
Swiss rounds.
Okay.
Swiss rounds. I walk out. We've done our little spiel and we're getting ready for paired one. So I'm walking around talking to people and I see Luna. I say, hey Luna, how'd your pulls come out? What'd you end up building? And she's like, it wasn't very good. I ended up having to build Sebulba. And I'm like, that actually sounds kind of interesting. I wouldn't mind putting that on camera. I'd like to see what you got because you don't see a lot of Sebulba. And so I walked around, talked to a few other people, just I was like, okay, all right. So then pairings come out, and I told the TOs, like, well, let's just do it. Let's just put Luna on camera and let's see what Sebulba looks like and how he plays in Limited. Sits down across from a guy, the only other person in the room also playing Sebulba, and he was who was it? Somebody was telling me this was Matthew. I can't remember his last name. His first name was Matthew, and he was convinced that his deck was just hot trash. And about right on curve on the 4 resource round in game 1, the guy playing Sebulba red in Limited lays down a Shadow of Stygian Prime in sealed, and I'm like, I don't know why he thinks this deck is crap. This deck is amazing already, and he's got a Pod Racer, he's got a Sebulba's Pod Racer, and a Shadow Stygian Prime in his red-yellow Sebulba deck in Limited. I'm going, I think you're going to be fine, dude. He finished top 8. So, like, nice. He did just fine.
I wasn't ready for the time crunch.
In terms of building your deck?
So, yeah, in terms of building my deck. So, you open up your packs, you fan them out to the person across you, and then you hand them over and you write them all down under a checklist. You're doing a checklist. So you don't really even know the cards you have, to be honest. I didn't really know what I had until
they could hand it back to you, no.
Not until they can hand it back to you. I then went and checked my list to make sure my list was right. I'm glad I did. There was 2 cards that were wrong, so I wanted to make sure I got that.
Good.
And then I just happened to, by the time I was done checking it in and I had them sorted because my person didn't sort them for me. I sorted his perfectly.
We need better. That happened last year to some people. We need better instructions on what to do. And when it comes to how to handle this whole deck or pool registration thing, the judges need to make a better job, and there needs to be like you cost your opponent time, or you cost the person who's checking time.
I'll make
some sort of punishment.
I'll make a video on it.
By the time I get everything sorted, I'm ready to go. Jason's standing right there because I'm doing it right next to Jason, and I'm like, "What's the time left?" It tells me 18 minutes. I haven't really looked at my cards yet, so I finally got them sorted. I look at them, and the first thing I see is I always pull out my rares and my uncommons. My rares: 3 Dr. Alphras and a Snorlax base. I'm in trouble, boys. I'm in trouble, boys.
I'm in trouble.
So then
boys.
my next thought building it is, okay, 2 drops. That's been a problem for me
Yes.
in these sealeds that I've played. Where are my 2 drops? Oh, they're all over the place. They're all over the place. I got a pair here, I got a pair here, I got a pair here. Nothing really in a color, nothing heroism, nothing villainy, nothing really that's screaming to me. I got lucky and I had a saw. So I shoved all the two drops together. I did have 3 of the cavern wings.
Nice.
Problem is in my 4 games I played, I ran up against 2 Aura Sings. And they made them completely unplayable along with, a couple of the other like cards that I had. So it was a pretty rough day for me, but I had a great time. I love building it. I love going home and watching. I really like Limited. I think it's a preferred version for me, I guess, to participate in on a large tournament scale. But I had a great time.
Okay.
My cards suck, but I had a good time. My friends beat me up all day. They were mean to me.
I mean, Ian, they're going to beat you up on Tuesday night when you show up too, buddy. So I mean, Saturday, Saturday weekend's no different.
They're always mean to me. So mean.
I don't know. The last time I sat at a card table with you, you kicked Trey in the nuts pretty hard in Twin Sons. So I don't know that you necessarily get to throw that stone right now.
That Twin Sun business doesn't count.
Oh, I completely disagree. No, I disagree. I had such a good time sitting back like Leonardo, just sipping my little drink with a grin, watching you two go at each other. It was so funny. It was so
hopefully
funny.
This Tuesday we can get a couple Twin Sun games in. I don't know if you guys are coming or not.
I'm game. I should be there. I think. So yesterday, of course, was a big day for PQs here in the States, but it was also a big day for news for the game over in the United Kingdom. UK Gaming Expo has been going on, which is an event mostly for store owners and retailers and that sort of thing over in the United Kingdom. And FFG chose that particular event, this particular weekend, to kind of finally give us more detail on what Icons really is. Now, because this announcement happened on a Saturday, you may not have seen it, dear listener. So, did you guys see any of this?
Bro.
Have you guys seen it?
I saw that there was an announcement. I saw a picture of some reprints. That's all I got. So what I don't even know what this is. I saw something that was like, last year we did Battle of the Hoth. This year we're doing Icons, and I was like, I don't understand that. What?
All right,
they're trying an old tried and true retail method of let's release a product during the holiday season that is an intro to players. Okay, they tried it with Intro to Hoth, but none of those cards were playable in Premiere.
Yeah.
So the idea behind this set is twofold. One, it's going to contain just the basic keywords of the original Spark of Rebellion set.
Yep.
Right? So it's just going to have those basic keywords. Sentinel, Ambush, Shielded, basic keywords, right? But the other thing that it's going to be cool is it's going to have some reprints. And the reason it's called Icons is because all of the packs that you open should have iconic characters within them.
Is it a pack of random cards, or is it a pre-constructed decks?
It's going to have a leader, it's going to have a base, and it should be like a draftable set, like a regular pack. So there are some really cool starter decks as well.
So we're getting 4 sets this year?
You're getting 4 sets this year. Now, a couple of things to note. They consider Icons a quote-unquote mini set. That's their term. Because it's 194 cards instead of the normal 250 plus you get out of a full expansion. We talked about this last time, right? We said people were like, is this good? Is this bad? It was like, until we know the set size, we don't have any idea. Like, give me an idea of what we're dealing with. Okay, so now we know it's a slightly reduced set size. What they've said is that every single common card in the set is a reprint from one or more sets that have been previously printed. So every common card between 1 and 8 is on the block for a possible reprint in those icon packs. We don't know what they're doing, but something, okay? And then they say some of the uncommon cards are also reprints, although they've got new art. The 2 that they've shown us so far are previous cards from Twilight and Shadows. They're reprinting the Grogu unit out of Shadows of the Empire, the little 0-5 Exhausta guy, and the 7-7 Savage Opress out of Twilight is getting a reprint, the one that comes in ready, like if you have less units than your opponent or however it works.
And a couple of cards look to get I'm going to put it in quotes, remake, like a cool remake.
Okay, I didn't hear that. What is this one?
What does that
What
mean?
does that
I mean,
mean?
if you look at the cards, there's a Vader card. That's an 8/8 Vader card that has ambush. All your other units gain ambush. So it's kind of similar to the Spark of Rebellion, and ambushes in and brings in a unit.
You're saying
somewhat similar.
You're saying remake. To me, that's still a brand new card.
No. So, like the Sidious card does restore 3, but does heals your base instead of does damage to all the other players. So they did like a few. All the cards are supposed to be iconic, so they look pretty neat.
Correct.
Cool.
So short answer is all the commons are reprints. Some of the uncommons are reprints. None of the rares and legendaries are reprints. Every rare and legendary is a brand new card unique to this set.
Are they legal in Premier?
Yes, all of them are Premier legal, and it also says that I'm quoting the press release here that they published on their website on Saturday. It says not only that, every rare and legendary in the set is a unique card featuring a fan favorite Star Wars character. So essentially, you're not going to open a rare called Two-Headed Troig or Two-Faced Troig. Every rare or
Dr.
legendary,
Rampart.
every rare or legendary is going to be a Vader or a Luke or a Han or somebody you will go, oh, I know exactly who that is. Like, that's the point.
Admiral background character from
no more. What's the old joke? And I can't repeat that word on a family-friendly stream. But there's a term that Star Wars fans use for random Joe Bob alien in the background that suddenly is irrelevant, right? And none of that apparently in the rare and legendary slots in this set. They're also using it so that's the basis. Now, they're doing this for two different reasons. To go back to what Ian's saying about the starter set, they're going back to the idea of the 2-player starter kits like we had in the first year, but they're marrying that idea to what they did in the Hoth box, where it comes with the tokens and the player board and all the rest, and has like a scripted experience for those decks, it seems like. So rather than get the box, to teach it, exactly.
To teach it.
It. Now,
and it looks to have a couple of booster packs in it.
It probably.
I looked at the picture right. It looks to have a couple of boosters.
And because it's a smaller set, this was something else that I was curious about that they did confirm. They say this in the announcement. The booster packs are 9 cards instead of 15 because it's a smaller set. That also, in my mind,
cheaper?
They should be cheaper. They don't tell you that in this. They don't tell you that in this press release. They don't give you the MSRP or whatever. But I'm looking at this going, there's no way they can charge $5 for a 9-card booster pack. Like, it's got to be it's got to be something. Like, I don't know. So, here we go. My apologies. I'm just now seeing this in the press release. Also unique to Icons is the introduction of a, quote, booster 4-pack, which is just what it sounds like, a combination of 4 Icons booster packs into 1 large packs. It costs $1 less than buying all 4 packs individually, and it comes with an alternate art variant Cassian and/or unit that you can't get anywhere else. Grabbing a couple of these is cheaper and easier than snagging an entire booster display, allowing players to still crack open multiple packs while on a budget. The other thing they point out in writing, this set is not meant for sealed or draft. You cannot you might be able to, you can, but you are not, like, every pack is not guaranteed to have a leader in it, for example. So, like, good luck drafting that, okay?
Yeah, it'd be too hard.
They give you the breakdown of a pack. So, in other words, they're telling you this is not designed for sealed or draft. To do so at your own risk is kind of the vibe you're getting here. You're getting 3 commons, 1 hyperspace common, a slot that it has a 25% chance of being a leader, and a 75% chance of being just a regular plain common, 2 uncommons, 1 rare legendary, 1 hyperspace foil. Similar to regular boosters, one of the uncommon slots will sometimes be a hyperspace uncommon, rare, or legendary, right? Just like in a regular booster, you see those a hyperspace legendary takes up an uncommon slot. Same thing.
Yeah.
Same sort of.
Are the leaders supposed to be reprints, or the new leaders?
The leaders are all new. In fact, if I remember what I read, there were 8 brand new leaders unique to this set, but only 8. So that's why when they say it's not designed for draft, not every booster pack has a leader in it. So, I mean, good luck trying to draft that. You could literally open 6 packs or whatever you open and not have a leader to play. Like, I mean, good luck. I don't know how you can do that. So it's they're marrying the idea of this entry point, like to the Hoth box concept, to a mini set that will actually sell to Premier people who want to buy like new cards for Premier play. And they're doing it, as Ian pointed out, on a schedule that puts it out 4 weeks before the Christmas holiday here in the West, so that they can hopefully rack up some Christmas sales. Yeah,
rain in that dough.
Ian's like,
rain in that dough, baby.
Cash,
Let
baby.
it rain.
Rain cash. So that's kind of the overall top level summary of what's in here.
I bought lame gift boxes last year just to get a cool Kenobi card, so I see no problem in spending more money that they will.
But you did it once. You did it once. They didn't.
Now,
you weren't expecting to have to buy boxes and boxes to get a collection of this stuff.
No, but I will. They got me. I'm hooked. I'm hooked real bad.
I'm going to point out one more thing that stood out to me in this press release on the website. I'll link it in the show notes if you haven't seen it. You know how ordinarily when they do one of these press releases and they reference a new card, they give you a link that you can actually pull up and click and go look at the card, right? And then afterwards, in parentheses after the name of the card, they'll tell you what set and what the card number is, right? To be very clear what they're talking about. So, for example, it'll say one of those leaders is Darth Vader. Now, none of these links work right now, or they don't seem to work right now, but the links are there. But the little set name, the official set name in this article is Icons 2027 edition. I think that's interesting because to me, that's telling me this might be something they start doing every single year.
Yeah, why not? If it sells, why not?
I think it's noteworthy, or at least they have plans to potentially do. They're leaving the door open to do this again down the road. Let's give themselves, from a premier balance standpoint and a sales standpoint, a window every year where we can potentially go back and grab some cards that we want to keep in the environment and bring them up and reprint them.
Here's a question that's hitting my head though for the first time is, what about rotation?
So they'll rotate out.
They tell you in the article that this set will remain legal until it rotates out in March of 28 with Lawless, Ashes, and Homeworlds. So it's on the same rotation cycle.
So it's going to hold in with those sets.
I think if you look at the cards, they even have the correct rotation symbol on them, the ones that they've spoiled.
B.
Yeah,
it'll be a B.
I'm like 98% positive. Let me go look at one of these pictures and make sure. Yes. Wait, am I crazy? Yes. Yeah, they've got the little B rotational symbol on them. So they're going to rotate out like anything else. But I think it's noteworthy. And, oh, by the way, the little set name, you know how ordinarily we see Ash for Ashes of the Empire or whatever. It says IC27. So literally they're telling you this is the 2027 version of this product, but there might be a 2028 version and a 2029 version. I think that's noteworthy as well.
Yeah.
So I have thoughts.
Bring it. I want to hear them.
So I want to preface this by saying I'm just now hearing all of these details, and I definitely want to ruminate before and have more time to think about it and reserve the option to revise my opinion. But my initial gut reaction is I freaking hate this.
Okay.
I hate everything about this. One, because I played Magic from almost the time it started until 2013.
Okay.
And Magic lost me when they decided they were going to start printing set after set after set every year. They're just the ridiculous volume of sets that come out to collect, to grab, to add. It's just a huge turnoff to me. Yeah. One of the things that I liked about this game is that they said that it's going to come out 3 times a year. We're going to have 4 months. It's going to be 3 times a year. And to me, that is a nice way. That's a nice balance between the people that this is all they do and they are bored after 2 weeks of playing with these cards because that's all they do, and then most people who have a lot of other things in their lives who need 4 months to explore a set and get involved with it and just bathe in it the way it takes before the next set has come out. And there are some people that would like it to be longer. They like sorcery is like 1 a year because they want it to go super sorcery TCG, and so I think that 4 months is a nice place balance of where to put those, so that I feel like, because I'm a bit autistic and I like to collect and I like to own everything, and I have this goal to own like one of it. And if they start just vomiting these sets at us for a year, so it's not just 4 sets a year now, it's Icons, it's the 3 regular sets, and it's Twin Suns. So now we're up to 5 products here. Twin Suns is actually Twin Suns 2026. So there'll be another amount of cards that we have to collect.
Yeah.
So now if you want to do a holiday box and put some leaders in there with some extra packs in it, I think that's great. Like if I can go spend $25 one time, $40 one time, and that is my hook into the game, that's fine. If you want to put an entire set together full of crap that I already own, just because there are a handful of cards that I don't, that is really that angers me. That I don't want most of the cards in that set. I collect all these cards. I have all of these cards. I don't want your garbage of commons that I already own, and I can go get them otherwise if I really feel the need for them. And two, another thing that I'm looking at where I did the math on my monitor here. 76% of a set is not a freaking mini set. It might be a smaller set, but mini means mini, and mini means substantially smaller. The term mini should mean substantially smaller, not just, oh, this is like 3/4 of the cards. So this had better be super cheap. Again, they might come out with a price point that I like. I might end up liking it, but at the moment, I hate everything about this. So
Wow.
that's where I'm at right now. I have this gut reaction that this makes me want to play the game less.
You and I had totally different reactions to this product. Completely different reactions.
Sure.
I think it's a great entry point for a game that has built up a lot of momentum over the last set. The next set looks to be really fantastic too. And we haven't talked about it, but there's been some really great spoilers for Ashes of the Empire that just look phenomenally played. I think support's a great mechanic.
So why do you need a fourth set for this?
Well, I don't like the fact that, yes, I'm going to have to probably I'm either going to have to single together some singles from this set or suck it up and buy some fat packs, it sounds like is the way to go. But I think it's if you're trying to get into the game, this is it. Like, this is the set you want to buy. You get caught up on all the commons. I'm sure they're going to put in playable commons. Hopefully they put in the playable commons, right? Fingers crossed. If they throw in a lot of really good playable comments, Trey, you're not thinking about this. They can pull comments that aren't in the set right now. They could pull resupply. They could pull confiscate.
I don't care. Okay, then put them in a regular set. Put them in one of the 3 sets. You already have reprints.
If I'm a brand new player,
I understand this is good for some people, but I hate it personally.
I get that. It could really help the game if this product sells well, because it will bring in. What the idea is you give this to your Magic the Gathering friend player for a holiday gift and say, hey, try out this new good Star Wars game that's got all these cool characters that you recognize and people that you don't think are lame, like Admiral Rampart or Chancellor. Yeah, people I've never heard of. I don't know their name, right? Yeah. Here's this awesome card called Trader Taxation. Play with this cool card. like if I'm getting into the game and I open up a pack, and in my pack I've got Grogu and the Mandalorian and Lando Calrissian and these people that I recognize, it's going to drag me in to play more. I don't play certain cards because I think they're stupid. Like if I think the character is stupid, even if the card is good, I might not play it.
So in that case, you just like, what's wrong with building intro battle to Hoth battle, but with cards that are decent, and it's a one-time purchase, and then it gets people to play the game. Maybe you even put like 1 pack of each of the previous 3 sets in there, or 2 packs of each of the 3 sets in there, so that people get the idea that it is a trading card game. You don't need to have a 4th set that people have to buy all of, and then just toss so many cards, just rubbish bins, so many of the cards because you already have them from back in the day.
I don't even think Trey's found out the most upsetting part. Isn't it a month after another set release?
It is.
As well?
So you're going to get a full release of Homeworlds in October. We don't have a date, but sometime in October. I presume
they did move that up.
They moved Homeworlds up 4 weeks, and they moved Icons into Homeworlds slot in November, basically like the holiday weekend, like right around Thanksgiving. So there's only a 4-week gap between those 2 releases.
I'm with you on the part of this is a lot of cards to buy in a shorter period of time. And you've thrown Twin Suns at us, which I agree. I've bought 2 of the 4 decks. I plan to get the other 2 so that I have all the cards. So I understand what you're saying. This is a lot of money to spend in a short period of time, and they're hitting us hard when it comes to the wallet. That's pretty rough. That's pretty
Just
rough.
make the decks. Make the decks that play each other. If you want to introduce people into the game, make decks that can play each other, that have all the iconic people in it. Even if you want to put reprints in there, make them like legal. But
to me,
a whole set to buy and collect is awful. Go ahead.
What's interesting about this is I'm gonna speak hopefully what I hope the listeners are getting out of this, right? You're getting two different viewpoints. Trey's viewpoint from my chair is very focused on I am an existing player and collector. I feel like I'm being milked for more money in order to just stay competitive at the premier level. This really pisses me off that you're trying to resell me cards I already own in a new wrapper. Ian and Trey, this is something of a blind spot for you and I because of the world that we live and work in. Ian has got retail lenses on, okay? Ian is looking at that, look at this from the perspective of a retailer, which is I'm gonna have a new product on my shelf at Christmas time designed to entice and capture people who don't already play my game. Now, we can argue the semantics of the right and the wrongness of how they're executing that particular product, okay? But I think Ian's got a great point, and that's something that I wouldn't have considered. We were talking about this on the phone a few weeks ago, Ian and I, and he made this point to me. He goes 100%. This is about having a retail product on the shelf at Christmas designed for new players and I thought this would never have occurred to me because I'm not a marketing guy. I'm not a retail guy.
See, that doesn't bug me at all. I like the idea of bringing new people in with a new part. I think the way they've chosen to execute it with this is throwing it in the face of the existing players at the expense of trying to get new players. I think you can straddle that line and you can do something that brings new players in, like just making decks that are fun to play against each other. Throw a few packs in there to customize the decks, even if you want to make them new cards so that I have to buy them. Make them new cards. Like make them new cards that I only have to buy the one time, and I buy that one pack. I think they've done a decent job. It is you hit it perfectly. Like I'm an existing player that is having to buy the same crap that I already own, and I feel like I'm being milked, and they don't respect me and my choices of what to do with my money.
Okay. I have just run some quick and dirty numbers while we've been sitting here doing this. All I have done is taken the percentages of commons, uncommons, rares, and legendaries from a regular 264 card set and applied it to now a 294 card set. All right. That leaves us
294 or 194?
Oh, sorry, 194. 194.
Okay.
194 card set. That leaves us with 85 commons, 52 uncommons, 42 rares, and 15 legendaries. And that adds up. That should be, I just checked it, that should add up to 194. Did I do this right? Yes, I can just glance at it. That's 194. Okay, so.
Come on, kick butt reprints.
Hang on a minute.
Come on, kick butt reprints.
The 85 commons are all reprints. We can just ignore those. Now, the article says some of the uncommons are new. They don't specify the percentage. Let's just assume half because it's a nice round number. 52 uncommons, let's just say half of them are new. That's 26. And all the rares and legendaries are new. When you add that in, legendaries, rares, and half of the uncommons, the expected uncommons, that's 83 new cards. That's it. So in terms of what you're actually getting that is brand new to the game from beginning, 83 is the actual number. These cards have never been seen in the game before. 83. That's my napkin math, guys. Don't pretend that's correct. That's not
good
gospel.
math, though, man. That's some good math.
I feel that's a decent. It's probably in that ballpark. It's probably 80 to 90 cards are brand new from period.
So if you wanted to do that, if you have 83 new cards and you wanted to split those into 4 piles and make 4 decks, 2 different pairs of decks. That you have sell this. Here's a package. It's got 2 decks in it that use a quarter of those cards. One deck uses a quarter of those cards. Another deck uses a quarter of those cards. And it's full of reprints. You buy it one time. Then there's another one that comes out, and we basically have 4 different package that has 2 different decks that also use the third and the fourth quarter. You get the same number of cards out there. You get to put reprints in, and I don't have to go sit there and buy a bunch of packs. It's the buying the random packs part that really gets to me.
I'm going to tell you, Trey, I'm going to tell you exactly why they didn't do that, because they just did that. They just did exactly what you said with Twin Suns. Okay. They don't know if that has worked yet. Now, I would tell you, I can't buy those decks at my locals, and they went very fast, at least in my local area. So maybe there is some value, but I think they're trying 2 different ways to get out different small sets of cards. Because from what Wes just said, The Twin Sun set is exactly almost that. It's about 80 cards, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I think
that's
I don't actually
perfect.
have the number on. So they're putting out. So Trey's got an interesting point. They're putting out these what amount to small sets, but I think what we don't have clear vision on, certainly with icons. With Twin Suns, we can look back and now know if you want every Twin Suns deck, there's one of it. It's extra $160 full retail, right? And you can probably save yourself a few bucks somewhere and maybe find them at 35 a deck instead of 40. What we don't know yet is what they intend to sell these 9-card booster packs at, and approximately how many it'll take to kind of, fill out your play sets of whatever you need out of this new stuff, right? Will it take $600? I bet not, right? But I don't know. Like there's no way to run those numbers without having the MSRP on the pack.
There's just something about the randomness of the packs and putting them in packs that just thoroughly rankles me. The idea of me spending money and opening a pack that I spent $4, $5, whatever it was, and I get one card that I don't already own because it was in the legendary spot, that just that infuriates me.
I can understand. I don't, as a player, I agree with you, right? I'm not excited about the financial hit, right? The hit to my wallet to keep up with Premier in something like this. However,
think if icons. No, sorry.
Let me finish the thought. As a Premier player, though, I am equally interested because those, again, I'm just going to use the napkin numbers. I don't have any idea what the real number is. I'm just going to say those 85 common slots. If you put the right, quote unquote, the right 85 commons in those reprint slots, you can significantly move the needle on what Premier looks like in the game just by rejiggering some of the commons around. Ian keeps harping on resupply, right? That's an easy one you could reprint that would really impact the game. Again, as an aggro player, I was having this conversation on the Carrollton stream with several people with Logan, and we had a conversation around the room. I miss Daring Raid, right? Like a dirt simple pay 1, get 2 base damage, right? Where's that card? Collateral damage, as good as it is not that card. So I look at the common cards that we lost in rotation, and we already know a few that they're bringing back. For example, the old school Death Star Stormtrooper, 3/1, red black. You can't go wrong with that card, right? That's a nice, simple, staple common, something like that. I think having that available in red black is a great idea. So there are some cards that I think I don't mind them doing this for, because I think it actually materially matters. And the uncommons can also be tremendously impactful. I mean, how many high impact uncommons did we lose in rotation? I mean, where's the laundry list? It's a laundry list.
I don't mind them bringing all the stuff back. I don't mind them bringing all the stuff back, but if it was in a deck, if I buy a deck where all the cards are standard legal and it's got one resupply in it, think of all the resupplies that are sitting on a shelf somewhere from the first two printings of it. Okay, it's legal. Okay, go buy those instead of just having trash on a shelf.
Or the ones out of the OP packs, because it was a common card in the OP packs in set 1.
Exactly.
They're everywhere. They're so easy to find. Yeah, it's a great point. That's a great point. I can't argue the point. So, anyways.
See, my opinions are gems. We talked about this at the very beginning.
Yeah, again, and once again, I'm going to come in with my head shake and my side eye and say, maybe not all of them. Maybe not all of them.
Ian, what were you going to say there for a minute?
Ian, bring it on, Ian.
I was going to say, just I hope it works, because
so do I.
This could be a good way of replacing in the last 2 sets, we've had 2 sets of 3, right? Mm-hmm. That third set has just been not fantastic both times. Yeah. Icons could be a way of really making that third set more impactful. Hey, these are the cards that the sets are missing when we go forward in rotation. Let's bring them in with icons. So you have 2 sets and you have an icons every year instead of 4 sets. I think that would be cool.
So the solution is not actually make the third set playable. It's make a crappy third set, because obviously you can't fix that, and then introduce a 4th set that may be better.
No.
Do you think that's a good solution to it?
No. I'm saying if this set works well and icons works well, and you bring in the right commons, you can reset you can keep your meta going by doing 2 new sets and a recap set every time.
Oh, I would be pretty fine with that.
Icons, 2 new icons, 2 new icons. That would be a great way of going. they're
I would
doing it this
consider
time
that.
for you're absolutely right. It's a money grab, but I also think it's a great introductory product. At least it looks like a great introductory product.
There is, I think, another possibility that they simply haven't disclosed yet because we're not ready to hear it. But I'm suspecting that maybe by Galactics they're going to get to this point because it's going to be
What,
hard.
aliens are real?
No,
We're not ready to hear that?
No, what I'm going is, okay, so right now Icons is, they're calling it a mini set at 194 cards. Okay. But the fact that you're releasing a full expansion and a quote unquote mini expansion like back to back, kind of challenging to swallow from a financial perspective. We've talked briefly on the podcast in the past about how, from an organized play perspective, the months that they have chosen to release new sets is really inconvenient, right? You're talking about March, July, and November are where they have traditionally released brand new sets every 4 months. That November release, I think that the intention was, hey, we're putting out a new set right before the holidays. That's a great idea for everybody. Oh, that's awesome. But from an organized play perspective, it's a disaster because I'm going to lose pretty much all of December. Nobody's really going to show up to events. Like a lot of the events that run in December just people don't show up. And the venues don't want to hold PQs and SQs and all that kind of crap in December because it's December. And so then really everything impactful falls into January and February. It's almost like you're better off to start shifting things around on the calendar. So
See, I would like that. I would like if they just pushed everything forward and made it April and August and December. The beginning of December is when the things come out, because then you have like all the new cards. You have Christmas. We can do all the limited of pre-releases and whatnot, and then OP starts in January.
On 1 January. I think that would be a better release schedule, and I think this might be an attempt to start shuffling things around to kind of line up with that, if possible. Now I could be just spitball. I could be totally wrong. I have no idea. But if they use it to parlay that, I could absolutely see it, and I think it would be worthwhile.
All right, here
based on how hard they have tried to sell a holiday product, based on somebody using their retail brain, whoever the corporate overlord is up there,
hammering them for this,
loves that idea.
He's hammering
holiday.
them for this.
Gotta sell a holiday. Let's hammer it until it fits.
Yeah, we're gonna find something to hammer into this hole. Go ahead, Trey.
So I got a holiday product that introduces all of these staples back in as commons that works with reprints and with new cards. You introduce a new format that is basically Twin Suns 1 versus 1. It can be 50 cards, it can be 80 cards. I don't care what it is, but a single. You could be 2 liters. It doesn't have to be 2 liters. Whatever you want. But what I'm saying is it's a singleton card format that your Christmas product. Your Christmas product is just like Twin Suns in the spring. Yeah. You have singleton Twin Suns in Christmas, and it's 4 decks. It's full of reprints. It's full of new cards. You only have to release 1 copy of Death Star Stormtrooper to introduce it back in. It turns on all of those old cards.
Yeah, that's
and I think that is an excellent way to do it, because I wouldn't mind that at all. We're going to pick up I didn't mind buying the Twin Sun stuff to promote that. I like buying I think that is a way better way to do it.
So if you're a Premier player, you'd have to buy 3 of each deck, because you would want 3 Luke Skywalkers and you would want 3
possibly
Darth Vaders. There's no way he's saying singleton format. But if you're a Premier player, you're going to want the cards. Yeah, I don't know. It's a rough call either way. They are milking us for more money, though. I mean, that's a given.
To me, the other problem with Trey's idea from FHE's perspective is he doesn't sell as many cards, and at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, right? Like for them, they want to sell
tension. That's the tension. They want to soak my wallet for as much as they can, up until the point where I refuse 100%. To do it anymore.
Yes. And that's a very real risk that's being run here, I think. And if I'm honest, I'm willing to bet that somebody in their marketing chain has made this point to somebody farther up the marketing chain who's told them, that's wonderful, now shut up and go sell cards. So I mean,
we sold 1,000 Premier subscriptions to our holiday event in Las Vegas in 30 minutes. Print more cards, please.
Right, like Trey, you and I have both worked
more cards.
Both worked for clients in our careers. I guarantee you this: that we have sat across the table and said, "This is a terrible idea. Please don't do this." And they said, "We hear everything you're saying. Do exactly what I told you anyway."
I'm doing that now at work.
You see my point. So I 100% guarantee you somebody in their marketing department has had that conversation with somebody farther up the food chain in the marketing department, and here we are.
Mhm.
So I don't know what to tell you, man. We'll see if it works. We'll see if it works. What do you guys got cooking in the deck lab? I mean, we're down. I mean, OP season is done. We're at a point now where we can just play. We can just do whatever we want and not worry about what the meta says we should be playing. What are you cooking?
Ian, you doing anything?
No, I got my decks built. I'm just looking at the new cards that are coming out and thinking how I can slot them into different decks, or checking out the new leaders and looking at the other cards. So kind of looking, I guess, forward than I am now, I guess.
Wes, are you building anything?
So when Ian came over a couple weeks ago to play here to kind of test out the tech with the app on the phone, the deck that I really wanted to have that ready that night that I was just short was Krennic Yellow. That Krennic Yellow we saw on stream, right, in Carrollton. One of the reasons I wanted to see that deck was I was like, I want to try this deck. I had started pulling the cards together. They're still in a pile downstairs on the table. And I was like 10 cards shy of pulling it all together, and I hadn't stopped to sleeve it by the time Ian got here. And I was like, screw it, I'll deal with it later. I'm 100% going to get that one done, especially after watching Robert play that deck on Saturday in Carrollton. I was like, yes, I have to try this now. I don't care if I get my clock cleaned by somebody. This just looks like silly fun and something that people have not seen, and they're just don't know what to do with. They're not ready for. I'll be honest, I don't know if it was on his list. I want to put Tear the Ship Apart in that list, right? Because I think that is
Which one is that one?
The 7-cost yellow, green villain. Yes. I think
I have that in my Jabba deck. That was fun.
I think that is the perfect list for that card because you probably have a few extra credits. You can probably surprise somebody with that card on like the 5 resource round. And they'll be like, whoa, what is happening? And it's like, yeah, that Liberty that you resourced at the start of the game, it's mine now on the 5 resource turn. Let's play. You know, like that's the kind of shenanigans that I'm betting you can get up to with that deck in certain matchups. So I want to give that a go. The other thing is, after watching that Sebulba match in Limited 2 weekends ago at the Houston Limited PQ, I watched Shadow from Stygian Prime. I watched the Pod Racer. I watched Sebulba, and I thought, you know, as an old Kylo 2 player, I miss having fast red-black aggro. And red-black-yellow, especially with cards like Shadow, feels like it's got some really interesting play lines, right? Garinden into Hold for Questioning, or vice versa, or Shadow of Stygian Prime, the Interrogation Droid. There's some hand hate in there. I'm like, this feels like it could be a really interesting shell. How do I build this? So I went to SWODB and I started pulling in the cards that I wanted, not having any idea what leader I was going to build. And then I was like, okay, I need to find a leader. Well, let's look at cunning villain leaders. That lasted about 4 seconds because all the cunning villain leaders right now are just hot garbage. They're terrible. All the way back, it's like you have like they're just, oh my god, guys, it's so painful. I mean, I'll be honest. Slimore in my mind is probably the best of the lot. That's not a pilot, right? Because you go back to JTL and it's Rio and hell, I can't even remember the other one. It's so bad. And then you get to Barriss Offee and the Grand Inquisitor out of Legends of the Force.
Unplayable.
Then you get to Sly Moore was the only one in Secrets. Cunning Villain only had a single leader in the entire set. It was Sly Moore.
Because they had the double yellow, that DJ.
Exactly, because DJ took that slot, so they only got one leader. And then this set, it's the Client, which is okay, I suppose, but not amazing for a red, like the shell that I want to play it in. And
no,
then, what's the other
client one? The client is they tried to make Django, but without being as powerful as Django, and they way overshot.
They way undershot. Like it's just not good. And what's the other cunning villain in this set? You're gonna kill me. I gotta go look now.
Jabba. Well, Jabba is one. Well, there's 3 because Jabba's a starter.
No,
there's
Jabba's
3
the
because
only one. No, there's not. They quit doing that.
Oh, that's right, because they have the double color ones.
Exactly.
Yep. So it is Jabba. I actually like Jabba, but
I actually do.
He's casual. He's casual only, though.
I do like Jabba, but Jabba's not the leader that you want to pair with a fast red-black. Yeah,
no, not at
black
all.
Shell. So I was like, okay, cunning leaders are right out. So I'm going to have to look at an aggro leader. What are my options? Well, for 4-drop leaders, for 4-flip leaders, Dedra and Sebulba immediately rise to the top. And then I looked at Von Reg and was like, probably not where I want to be. And then I looked at some of the 5-drop guys and was like, they just don't get much better. So in the end, I was like, okay, it's either Dedra or Sebulba. So when I started to lean towards Dedra, I was like, Dedra's got this damage ability. She'll put more cards in my hand. This feels pretty good. Like, this could be cool. So I started kind of cooking with that. So when I saw Sean Wheatley, I think it was Stephen Wheatley playing Dedra Yellow in Carrollton, I was like, it's like this guy read my mind. This is amazing. I can't wait to see this deck. And he absolutely cooked a PQ winner with it, right? Winston Edgar sat down across from him on stream with a Lando Lake Country deck And Winston has won a PQ and finished a finalist in another PQ on Yoda twice. And here he is with one of the most powerful decks of the format, and he got absolutely roasted by this deck. Now, that doesn't mean it's the best thing ever, but it made me excited to build it. So that is 100% going on my build list. I can't wait. It's going to be fun.
That's fun. I actually I put together a Sebulba deck, the red-black Sebulba deck. I have one of those built that I've played quite a bit in Carabas. So like I know all those cards that you're doing. So a lot of the cards you're talking about were high on my list as well.
What about you?
I did a thing. Well, we'll see what people think about it.
You've told us about this thing. I can't wait to hear more about it and what people think about this. This is wild. This threw me when I heard this. Go.
So I'm in a personal project that I'm doing. I own Kingwood Hobbies. I own a couple of other domains, and I have always been a tinkerer. And I'm from the very early days of the internet. Like I learned computers because I worked at a computer repair shop, and I would take the computers that people didn't want anymore, and I built this entire corporate network in my duplex that I lived in. That's who I am as a person with technology, and I just don't have the time to do that type of stuff anymore. But I still like the idea of not relying on like the cloud and hosting and whatnot. So for the last month, I've been building that using Claude, using AI, and it is a ton of fun and interesting stuff to do. To go into Claude and be like, this is what I want to do, and then it's. The way that we're having this podcast, it's like programming computers, but the way that we're having this podcast where we talk back and forth. And so I've been using AI to build all this stuff up. And like in the last few days, I've got it all finished. And like, I have this amazing corporate level network sitting in a closet, like 5 feet from me right now. And so I'm like, all right, so I've had it in my brain to use AI to do things. And I just wanted to see how it would go. So I gave Claude the ability to get into my, SWDB account, and I was like, I just went and saw Mandalorian and Grogu. I have a Grogu card. I want to build a Twin Suns deck with Grogu. Claude, go build me a Twin Suns deck with Grogu. I gave it no options. I was like, I don't want to do this. I want you to build it. I'm sure, well, I haven't played it yet, but I have been through several iterations of this. So I was like, go build a deck. And then it was like, it just crunched for like an hour and a half where it read cards and it built decks, and like it built this deck and found the synergies that it wanted to do. And it was, so the first pass of this had some glaring holes in it. I had actually found some really interesting insights. It found some cards that I never would have thought about that have since gone into my my repertoire of this is a fun Twin Suns card. But the built from scratch was pretty bad. So one of the things that actually I thought it did really well, and Ian has talked about deck building like this before, it's really hard to start with a blank sheet of paper. And to just be like, I want to build a deck. I've got a blank sheet of paper in front of me. But what is not as hard is to start with a really crappy deck and be like, well, it's really crappy because of this. And then I'm going to fix that. And then like to tweak a deck that exists. So if my idea was to build a deck with Grogu. And so starting with that seed and having Claude spit out an 80 card deck that was hot garbage to begin with, and it missed some obvious things, and it added some cards that didn't do anything. So the first iteration was it decided to lean into the Force, and it gave me, I don't even remember who it, actually I came up with the pairing. I was like, I want Grogu, and then I want to use the Red Han from Shadows to power out the 4-drop to flip Grogu a turn early, like on the second turn. That was my original thinking that I wanted to do. And I was like, I don't know where I want to go with this. Claude, go build it. And so it made some really glaring errors. Like it was Grogu is yellow, Han is red. It gave me a yellow base. So I had yellow, red, and white. So I was like, well, that's ruined. That's not good. So, but what I did find is that if I go through, so if you just say, Claude, here's my SWDB password, go make me a deck, it's going to be terrible.
Yeah.
But what I did find is interesting is that I was then able to go, and this is the power of talking to this thing, is I was able to go in and say, okay, you're doing this wrong. You're doing this wrong. These cards don't work for this reason. And then it's able to take that information and be like, oh, well, if these cards don't work for this reason, these other cards also aren't going to work with this reason. So I was able to chat back and forth and still let it make card decisions. I have no idea if the deck is good, but I have since, and at one point I was like, okay, this Force thing is not working out. We're going to start over. I don't want to use the Han to power him out. Now I'm using ambush now so that when I flip Grogu, I'm attacking and getting those benefits from Grogu immediately. And so it was able to completely wipe that deck list and start over. And it started building me all of a combination of Sentinels, because I'm building Twin Suns and I have to have Sentinels, and a bunch of ambush units. And so I was able to just chat back and forth with Claude and tell it, I don't like these cards for this reason. We're going to swap out these cards. I do like these cards. Thank you for that. That's a good to that. But that card doesn't work with, like, and I was able to have this conversation going back and forth, almost always. I think at the very end, I was like, these 4 cards have to go in there. What should we cut? And then it gave me 4 ideas. And I was like, no, that's terrible. Cut these 4 cards. But up until that point, Claude had made all of the decisions. And so now I've got that deck list, and I want to try it out at Twin Suns this week to see if it's any good. It may be terrible. I look at it and it doesn't look bad. I couldn't tell you whether it's good or bad, but it's fun to do. It's a fun experiment for me to do, is to just farm out this idea to the computer. And even though I had to take a more active role in it than I originally was going to do with my experiment, it was an enjoyable active role because I'm having a conversation about why I don't like this, and it's learning a little bit about how I like to build decks and then helping me out. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
I'm going to make 3 quick points.
Bring it on.
3 very quick points. 1, clearly I frustrated you in Twin Suns. You got to go to AI to get help.
Damn, the shade. I love it. Shade.
2, now you can blame Claude for when I whoop you down this week.
Damn.
And 3, man, why are you making Skynet so smart, bro? Stop making them smart.
Yeah, because building TS decks is definitely how it's going to take over with those nuclear codes. That's totally it.
You also really miss your girls who are off in college. You need somebody else to talk to, bro. That isn't a machine.
Well, that baby mama's sitting
I
downstairs.
love you, bro.
That's true. That's true.
I love you, bro.
I tell
It
you
sounds
what,
like you had a great time. I mean, it doesn't sound like my cup of tea, but it sounds like you had a great time, dude.
It just seems like a fun experiment.
I'll tell you this, Trey. I think this might be. I think you're right. I think this might be a really interesting experiment. I think what we ought to do. I think you and I and maybe Ian or somebody else locally, we need to all do this experience for premier decks. Find a premier leader. Find a premier leader. Find a premier leader that like everybody thinks is hot garbage or is just not good or whatever, and or just doesn't get a lot of play that you like, just doesn't get play. And sit down with the AI of your choice and work on a deck, and then we sit down and play them on camera downstairs in the studio. I think that would be fun.
That'd be fun.
So we just whatever you agree, whatever like you don't mess with the deck. You just work with the AI and he builds the list, and then you just pull the cards together, and that's it. And that would be hilariously fun to try. That's
oh my god, my deck would be so bad, bad.
Now what's
you don't know.
Ian, this isn't even legal.
You don't know. You don't know. What's interesting to me, right? I have used AI in very small dribs and drabs to help with some of the streaming tools that I have been working on, right? The guys that have maintained the spreadsheet that we use to update the overlays quickly, the stream overlays we use for like the lower thirds and the match cards and all this kind of stuff. I know they use it a lot because we're doing a lot of, I don't even know what language it is, some kind of programming language to pull the API calls out of one website, rejigger it, pretty it up, and send it off to another website. So like there's some coding and all of that, and I've watched them work with either ChatGPT or Claude to kind of hone that code in, and then they're able to, because they know how all that works, they're able to review it and go, oh, you've screwed this up, or you fix this or change that. But I built a tool a few weeks ago for the leaderboard, the global leaderboard for season points. And I did that pretty much by sitting down with Grok and saying, I want to do this. I want to scrape data from this API call on this website and send it to here. And just like Trey was saying, the iterative process of that's not right the first time. You get it to refine it. It's not right the second time. You refine it, and eventually you iterate down to where what you have works and meets what you're after. You just keep telling it what's wrong. I don't like that. Fix this, change this, move that, add this, whatever. And eventually you get to something that works. Really surprised me. I was shocked at how kind of, I don't want to say intuitive, let's say
natural. I think it's natural because it's the way that we talk to each other.
Yes.
The way that we talk to each other is how you talk to this. I will say, so I'm sure we're going to get a lot of thoughts about this, even if we don't hear about it.
100%.
But I will say that I went from open-minded, but have heard all the horror stories, to I'm not super proficient. I've got a long way to go, but to having used it enough that I've better codified how I feel about what is called AI now. And the one thing that I think is that I think that calling it AI and the anthropomorphization of giving it human traits and making it, saying that it's human or treating it like a person, like that has gotten such a, people use that as a shortcut to try and convey how it works. And that has led to such that's where a lot of the backlash comes from. It's not that at all. It's not a Skynet. It's not AI. It's not real AI. It is just a natural language interface where you can talk to a computer, and the computer, like one of the things that I run into a lot as somebody who's really into computers. I've always been the computer guy for people, and I deal with a lot of people who just are angry because they want a computer to work in a certain way. Yeah. This is my whole life. It's been this way. They want a computer to work like this. The computer works the way the computer works because that's how it's been programmed. And the expectations don't line up with the reality, and it just leaves the person angry because the computer's not doing what they want it to do. Just do the thing I want you to do. And with large language models, natural learning, whatever you want to call this, AI is what people have settled on, but that allows that interface with a computer is what is getting us to a point where you can the computer will just do what you want it to do rather than you having to fight and learn how to talk to the computer in the computer's way to get it to do what you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you. It's been interesting.
Never used Claude or Gronk or any of that stuff.
See, and so all you have is what's in social media and what's in the news and the horror stories and the general anthropomorphization of the idea of AI. And so you're left with this terrible taste in your mouth, which is why I think it's just a terrible misnomer to call it AI. And it's just, it's poorly explained as to what it is.
We use the term AI in a fashion that it's really not AI. It's not, it can't think for itself. And when you go to, I'm just saying it can't right now. And when you go to it with a question, it will frequently bring back data that is not fully correct, or not, the answer is not fully baked. And you have to really examine what it's giving you to go, okay, you screwed this up, or you missed that, or whatever. And eventually you can iterate to something that's very good. But generally the first, second, and third cuts at whatever you've asked or tried it to do are they're misses. They're just straight up misses for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So without turning this too much into AI today, we should probably move on, because I could go on for more about. No, I had conversations with my friends about this too. So
we need to wrap it up.
My other friends.
We need to wrap it here. But it's been a really good episode, and I'd be really curious to see what folks think about the idea of doing that to build decks. I'll be honest, I had never even considered it for building decks. So when Trey tells me I'm using AI to build decks, I was like, what? My brain literally took a minute. It was like record scratch. Like you could see the record scratch in my thought. Like, what just happened? Wait, what? So yeah, I'm actually going to try it now just to see what happens. I might actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'll do an interesting comparison. I'll sit down and I'll build my own Dedra Yellow list. Here's what I would build. And then I'll try and see if I can get Grok or Claude or somebody. I'll iterate it down, but I'll see what it comes up with later on, like after, let's just say,
okay, that's like these experiments are fascinating to me. Like that's what I love about it.
I think it'll be interesting. So, I'd be curious to see where the overlap is or isn't.
Yeah. So when you do that, don't ever give it a card that it's not allowed to play or that it has to play. Just say, I think this is what you're missing.
I'm going to tell it I want red, yellow, speed, direct damage, that kind of thing, and just see what it spits out. I'll be really fascinated to see what it looks like. Cool. All right, boys, we probably need to wrap it up. Ian, you got anything else? You good to go?
To our future computer overlords, I said this was a bad idea. No, I'm just kidding.
We salute you.
Well, I do say please and thank you to it.
Hilariously,
very good.
This is
very smart.
This is going to sound ridiculous. I do too, just because it's like talking.
That's just the way that. It's like talking to a person.
It's like talking to a person, and I was raised to say please and thank you to everybody. So that's what I do to the damn computer. It's so weird. It feels weird, Trey. It feels weird. Okay.
Well, that's the thing, is it doesn't feel weird until you step back and realize you're saying please and thank you. In the moment, that's just how you talk. But
yeah, you're not wrong. Any other topics you want to hit, Trey? You good to go?
I think I'm done. I think that was my big bombshell for everybody.
All right, fascinating. Hey, what's our mailbag email address this week? You want to do AI@onthebutton.xyz?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, AI@onthebutton.xyz.
Skynet. All right, so we'll go with AI@onthebutton.xyz is our mailbag for the week. You can always hit us at mailbag also at onthebutton.xyz, or each of us has our own individual email, right? Didn't that work, Trey?
Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, we're Ian at onthebutton.xyz and Wes at onthebutton.xyz, and then literally anything else comes to me. So you
Okay.
want to send it to Trey, that's fine too.
Okay, there we go. If you want to send it to Ian was right at onthebutton.xyz, it's going to go to Trey, and he's going to love that. So definitely.
I have a folder for those already ready to go.
All right, guys. With that, we want to say thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you being a part of our listener community. Definitely throw us a like, follow, subscribe, whatever. Share the podcast wherever you like. I know Galactics is coming up. Trey and I are going to be there, so make plans to come find us. We'll probably have some fun little giveaways for folks who come up and say, "Hey, I listened to your podcast," and Trey will be like, "Oh my God, you listen? Yes, this is so awesome!" And he'll probably give you something cool. So keep that on your radar.
Dude, I have some chill. chill.
No, you don't. No, you don't. I've seen you react to people be like, "Oh, you listen to the podcast? This is awesome." No, it's not happening. So, anyways, thanks for being here, guys. We'll catch you again in a couple weeks. Until then, enjoy your summer. Y'all be safe, and we'll see you for the next episode.